everyone, and welcome back. This is Wendy, and we are continuing in this little mini series where I want to talk with you about what to do when you hit speed bumps and dead ends and detours in your life as a business owner. And in particular today, I want to share a story about a time when I was completely lost as a business owner and what I did to find my way back. This is a good one. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Wendy Pitts Reeves. Let's hop right into this. Those of you who are local, who know me, already know some of this story, but most of you won't have heard this before. So there was a time when I served in public office here in my community. And for a period of 4 years, I threw everything I had into that job. It was both the hardest job I've ever had, the worst job I've ever had, and the best job I've ever had all at one time. It was really something. It completely took over my life because I felt so strongly about doing that work. But when that ended, I was completely and totally lost. It was like I had been pushing uphill for 4 solid years, and all of a sudden there was nothing left to push against. And I just sort of like fell. I didn't know. I had no idea what to do with myself. Now, while I was in office, my practice continued and I had done fine, but my practice had suffered quite a bit because all of my energy went towards my public service work. So the first thing I did was I needed to kind of wake that up and get that going again. So I kind of had a little hard talk with myself and told myself to pull myself together. And I put together a real short and simple business plan, put together about a year's worth of business rebuilding plans. And then I met all those goals within 2 months. Now what? So things got better. The money was fine. I wasn't exhausted all the time. I sort of had room to breathe, and yet I was still restless. And this is why I've been talking to you about this over the last couple of weeks. I began to embark on a journey to figure out what was next, because here's what had happened. In my life on the county commission, my thinking had expanded. I had been tested in a way I'd never been tested before. And I'd found out that I could handle big things, hard things, more than I realized. And there was no way, once I had expanded in that way, that I could contract or retreat back to just kind of doing the same old thing, the same old way that I'd always done. I still loved my clients, but I was ready for a challenge. And so I went through this period where I was just lost. Now what do I do? And after I met those early goals in my business, I actively began to try to answer that question. Part of what I've already shared with you was part of that process. So the 2 things I've already shared with you is, one thing is I needed to get clear. I needed to get clear about what I loved, what mattered to me, what was important to me. So I talked with you in a previous video about the master document that I created, where I started tracking the things that lit me up as a way of just sort of figuring out, oh, there's a theme here to the kind of things I love talking about and doing and engaging in. That was the first thing. I needed to, number one, get clear about what made me happy. And the second thing I needed to do was to get curious. So because I was sort of wide open at that point, that's when I started really digging into and learning more about law of attraction, about the importance of mindset, about the kinds of information I could get through coaches. I began to listen to podcasts at that point. I began reading different kinds of books that talked about the energy behind running a business. And one by one, my brain was beginning to just explode with ideas and options and possibilities. As I began to oh, this is a whole new way of thinking. I've never thought about that before. So I got clear and I got curious, And I began to learn and stretch and just shift the things that I was thinking about. And all of that was well and good. And then there was a moment when I just sort of had this aha. I don't really know where I'm supposed to go next. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, but I trust that if I ask the right questions, the universe is going to help me find the answers. And so I made a decision that turned out to be a life-changing decision. And you know what that decision was? I began to say yes. I just decided I'm going to start saying yes to whatever comes my way. I'm going to trust that I am being led in some direction, and whatever's going on, it's okay. I'm just going to say yes. And over the next few months, I mean, this was kind of crazy and it was a little bit scary because y'all, I don't usually say things if I don't mean them, and I don't say something like that if I'm not going to do it. So when I said it, it meant I had to do it. So I said yes to things like, I remember the day I bought a pair of glasses. I needed some new glasses. And this cute young fella behind the counter suggested a pair of glasses that I would never have worn in a million years. Don't worry, they're not these. This is like 2 or 3 pairs ago. But I just said, yes. He said, I really like this. And I'm like, really? Compared to this or this or this? The normal kind of things I would have bought? And he said, yeah, I like that one. And I went, yes. And then there was the moment that a car showed up. So I had a car that I'd only had for a little while that was perfectly fine, but was pretty boring and not particularly what I really wanted. It was very much a settled for. And I was poking around online one night on a Saturday rainy afternoon, and the car that I had been dreaming about popped up on a local website. Boom. I said yes. I went and got that car on Monday. Yeah. Never regretted that for a moment. And then there was the day that I was sitting in a meeting with a group of colleagues, and I was thinking about going to a conference that would have required an airline ticket, a couple of $1,000s worth of money, and a whole lot of effort. And a colleague of mine said, I love where you're going with this, Wendy, but I don't think that's what you should do. I think you should come with me to this other conference that I'm going to that is 4 hours away. I've already got a hotel room. We can drive there. It's easy peasy. You can stay with me. I got it all figured out. And I said, okay. And when is this conference? It was 2 days away. That conversation happened on a Tuesday morning. The conference started on Thursday. I said, yes, which meant this kind of crazy scramble where I had to completely rearrange everything in my life, my kids, what was going on at home, my clients, a whole bunch of stuff, because I said I was going to say yes. Well, I went to that conference, which turned out to be a 3-day experience for women entrepreneurs that was not like anything I'd ever been to before. And while I was there, I had a major download, a hit of inspiration that hit me so hard, I was shivering. And that inspiration, that idea that just like hit me like a lightning bolt, turned into what became Secret Adventures for Courageous Women, which many of you have heard me talk about here. And long story short, over the next 10 years, I can see how that decision led to another, which led to another, which led to another, each of which introduced me to new people, to new experiences, to new ideas, all of which completely opened up my mind, opened up my life, opened up my heart. And I can honestly tell you that today, my life is 180 degrees different than it was back then. And I am not the same person that I was back then. And I am happier than I have ever been in my whole life. And that's not because I haven't been happy, because I've been plenty happy, plenty of times. But when I got clear, when I got curious, And when I was willing to open up to possibility and just say yes, amazing things happened. And today I see that happening with my clients all the time. When they just decide to work with me, they are already saying yes to themselves in a big way. When they open their practice, open a new clinic, launch a parenting program, do their first talk, make their first video, they are saying yes to themselves in a big way. And I see people over and over again having this kind of like, wow, I didn't even know I could do that. Wow, I didn't even know that would work that way. Wow, I had no idea how much fun that would be. Wow, I had no idea that my clients would like that so much. Wow, I had no idea what was possible. This is what happens when you reach what you think is a dead end, but isn't. It's really just a detour into whatever's next for you. And if you will take the time to get clear about what makes you happy, to ask good questions, if you will take the time to be curious, to learn, to listen, to read, to explore, and if you will have the courage to say yes, I think you'll be amazed at what happens in your life and in your practice too. I know we talk a lot about the importance of boundaries. We talk a lot about saying no. And yep, there's a place for that too. But sometimes it's not about what we need to say no to. It's about what we need to say yes to and to allow in to our experience so that we can grow and become the person we really want to be and live the life we want to live and run the business that we have loved so much and have wanted to run all along. So I hope this is helpful for you. I would love to hear from you in the comments below, what this brings up for you, what it makes you think about, and what you're saying yes to right now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a colleague, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because that helps me so much. I really appreciate you. I'm really glad you're here. And I can't wait to see what you say yes to next. See you next time. Bye now.